Before becoming the shining superstars of WWE, many wrestlers had to go through surprisingly ordinary jobs, some even quite unexpected. They once worked as office clerks, factory workers, security guards, athletes in other sports, and even took on tough manual labor just to make ends meet. These experiences shaped their determination, persistence, and unbreakable spirit, the very qualities that later propelled them to the top of the professional wrestling world. Let's dive into the surprising jobs WWE superstars held before ever stepping into the squared circle. Let's get started right now. Wrestling sphere, go! 1. Batista. Before the name Batista echoed across WWE arenas, Dave Batista endured a harsh and unforgiving childhood. He was born in Washington, D.C., in a struggling neighborhood where crime, violence, and poverty were a part of daily life. His family constantly battled financial troubles, and at times, they couldn't even afford a proper meal. Batista's teenage years were marked by recklessness and poor choices. He got involved in petty theft and frequent street fights just to survive in such a rough environment. In one candid moment, Batista admitted he was once a terrible kid, stealing simply to have food and clothes. It wasn't something he was proud of, but under those circumstances, it felt like the only way to get by. The breaking point came when a serious brawl landed him in jail. That short time behind bars became a wake-up call. Batista realized that if he kept heading down that path, his life would hit a dead end. Once released, he resolved to start over. He turned to the gym, channeling his anger into building muscle while slowly rebuilding his self-worth. His growing physique helped him land work as a nightclub bouncer, but that environment soon dragged him into trouble again. A massive altercation got him arrested and ultimately banned from working as a bouncer in the area. As devastating as it was, that setback pushed him to seek a different path. Batista shifted toward professional bodybuilding, and eventually found his way to the Wild Samoan Training Center to pursue wrestling. Though WCW rejected him, he refused to quit. With determination and resilience, Batista finally secured a WWE contract. From a troubled kid stealing to survive, he rose to become one of the defining figures of the ruthless aggression era, capturing multiple world championships. Beyond the ring, he cemented his legacy in Hollywood with his breakout role in Guardians of the Galaxy. 2. John Cena. Before becoming a legend with the unforgettable catchphrase, "You can't see me," John Cena once had a rather unusual job. He drove a limousine. That's right, the 17-time WWE World Champion once sat behind the wheel, chauffeuring clients to their destinations. But even Cena himself has admitted he was absolutely terrible at it. And it's easy to see why. Growing up in West Newbury, Massachusetts, a small town with only a handful of main roads, Cena had little experience navigating complex routes. On top of that, this was before GPS became widely available. With poor sense of direction, he constantly got lost, fumbling through streets while passengers grew impatient. Cena once joked that at least when he pulled up the privacy screen, customers couldn't witness how flustered he looked trying to figure out where to go. It was both a funny memory and a humbling lesson that stuck with him. Just picture a young Cena, rocking his trademark jean shorts, gripping the wheel of a long-stretch limo weaving through busy streets. Sounds cool, right? In reality, it was anything but smooth. He often caused passengers to miss flights and later confessed he was one of the worst limousine drivers ever. Before dabbling in that job, Cena had already been devoted to bodybuilding. His passion for training drove him to push his body to the limit, working from 4 a.m. until midnight and squeezing in every spare moment at the gym. He practically lived there, using the locker room and showers like it was his second home. Then one day, while grinding through a workout, someone suggested he give professional wrestling a shot. That single suggestion changed the course of his life forever. From a clumsy limo driver, Cena stepped into the squared circle and carved out an extraordinary career. He didn't just capture 17 world titles. He became one of WWE's most enduring icons, a larger-than-life hero admired by millions across the globe. 3. AJ Styles. Before the name AJ Styles was celebrated as a wrestling legend, Alan Neal Jones endured a difficult childhood in Gainesville, Georgia. He grew up in a poor household with a father battling alcoholism, where tension constantly hung over their small home. Education opportunities were scarce, and financial struggles weighed heavily on his youth. With few options available, AJ had to take on all sorts of labor jobs to support himself and keep his wrestling dream alive. He worked hauling goods in warehouses, cutting grass for families in the neighborhood, and delivering water. At one point, he drove trucks long distances just to earn a modest paycheck. For a short time, he even served as an ambulance driver, a stressful job, but one that gave him valuable life experience. The pay was minimal, yet every dollar mattered because it allowed him to continue funding his wrestling training. His passion for the ring was so strong that he embraced any opportunity to compete, even if it meant wrestling in old warehouses with no crowd in attendance. For AJ, stepping into any ring, no matter how small or makeshift, was still a step forward in his journey. Many doubted that a skinny kid from a struggling town could ever succeed, but AJ never quit. He chose persistence, humility, and an unshakable drive to keep moving forward. After years of grinding on the independent circuit and later showcasing his unique technical style in TNA, AJ Styles proved himself worthy of global recognition. That defining moment came in 2016, when he officially debuted in WWE. In just a short span, AJ established himself with multiple major championships, earning a reputation as one of the most complete in-ring performers of all time. From a poor boy taking on countless odd jobs to keep his dream alive, AJ Styles created an inspiring story that resilience and passion can lift someone from the depths of hardship to the heights of greatness. 4. The Bella Twins. Before the world came to know them as WWE Superstars, Nikki Bella and Brie Bella lived an ordinary yet determined journey. Born and raised in Scottsdale, Arizona, to a family of Mexican and Italian heritage, the twins grew up with dreams of shining under the spotlight. From their high school days, both harbored ambitions of breaking into the entertainment world, hoping one day to become models or actresses. After graduation, Nikki and Brie left San Diego for Los Angeles, the city seen as a paradise for those chasing fame. But reality was far more challenging. In their early days away from home, survival became the first priority. While waiting for opportunities at auditions, the sisters worked as servers at the Mondrian Hotel, a trendy hotspot in West Hollywood. The job was anything but easy. They had to cater to VIP guests, move heavy furniture, and work overtime just to make ends meet. On top of that, they picked up extra shifts at a liquor store and even bartended to earn more. Brie once admitted, "We did whatever it took to pay rent. Every dollar we made mattered, and we never took it for granted." Nikki also recalled the frustration of being turned down at dozens of castings. Still, instead of giving up, the twins leaned on each other for motivation. Their perseverance and relentless optimism eventually paid off when WWE took notice during the 2006 Diva Search competition, a turning point that would change their lives forever. From hotel servers to household names in wrestling, the Bella Twins carved their path step by step in WWE. Beyond their striking beauty, they proved their resilience, confidence, and bold in-ring style. Nikki and Brie helped usher in a new era of women's wrestling, one where female superstars were strong, intelligent, and inspiring, standing as true icons of empowerment in the squared circle. 5. Mustafa Ali. Before fans came to know Mustafa Ali as a quick, courageous wrestler who always carried a positive message in the ring, he once wore the uniform of a police officer. Born into a Pakistani family, Ali grew up with a strong awareness that he had to challenge the stereotypes often attached to people with different names, skin tones, or cultural backgrounds. In an interview, he once said, "I wanted to become a police officer not for power or status, but to change the way people looked at us, those with Asian or Arab roots, those names that felt foreign to many." That was the reason he joined law enforcement, hoping to bring justice and trust to the community. Even while working full-time, Ali could not abandon his burning passion for wrestling. By day he served as an officer, and by night he traveled to small arenas to compete in independent shows. Most of the time he earned nothing for those matches, yet he remained committed. To avoid problems with his job, Ali often wore a mask to hide his real identity. There were nights when he finished patrol at 3 a.m., then drove for hours just to make it to a small warehouse where an event was being held. That persistence slowly carved out his own legacy. When WWE launched the Cruiserweight Classic in 2016, Mustafa Ali amazed fans with his breathtaking aerial moves, relentless energy, and fighting spirit. He quickly became a standout in the lightweight division, admired not only for his in-ring ability but also for the deeply meaningful story behind his journey. From a Pakistani-American police officer quietly battling prejudice to a WWE superstar inspiring millions, Mustafa Ali proved that kindness, justice, and hope can rise above stereotypes. Inside the squared circle, he is more than just a wrestler. He is a symbol of resilience, bravery, and unwavering determination. 6. Stone Cold Steve Austin. When people think of Stone Cold Steve Austin, the image that instantly comes to mind is that of a rebellious figure, smashing beers, delivering his iconic stunner, and daring to challenge anyone, even his boss Vince McMahon. Yet few would imagine that before becoming WWE's anti-hero, Austin once held a very ordinary job, working as a dockhand loading and unloading freight. After leaving college just 17 credits shy of graduation, Steve Austin, then still known as Steven Anderson, had to find work to make ends meet. He landed a job at Watkins Motor Line in Texas, a company specializing in large-scale freight transport. His daily tasks involved driving forklifts, lifting heavy cargo, and organizing shipments from trucks. Under the scorching Texas sun, with sweat soaking through his work shirt, Austin quietly pushed through the grind. At that time, no one could have predicted this young laborer would one day become one of WWE's greatest icons. Austin later admitted that the job built his endurance and work ethic, but it also made him realize he couldn't spend his entire life moving crates. Standing amid the chaos of stacked boxes, he started thinking about something bigger, a stage where he could showcase his grit and unshakable personality. Fueled by his love of sports and the strong physique he developed from playing football, Austin set his sights on wrestling. Even after long, exhausting shifts, he dedicated himself to training, taking small steps toward a new world. Eventually, the decision to walk away from the warehouse to fully pursue wrestling became the defining turning point of his life. Had Austin stayed at the docks, the world might never have heard the glass shatter, witnessed his legendary battles with The Rock or Vince McMahon, or seen the defiant image of Stone Cold raising a beer in celebration. From a humble dock worker to a superstar embodying rebellion, Stone Cold's story proves that sometimes the simplest beginnings can lead to the creation of legends. 7. Brock Lesnar. When people look at Brock Lesnar, it's easy to assume he was born built like a tank. With massive shoulders, a powerful frame, and an icy stare, he seemed destined to be a beast from day one. Yet his story began in the most ordinary of places, a farm in South Dakota. Lesnar's childhood revolved around hard physical labor. He woke up early every morning to help with farm duties, from tending livestock and harvesting crops to cleaning out barns. Those grueling years shaped his extraordinary strength and forged a foundation of strict discipline. After leaving farm life, he worked construction, a job demanding stamina, toughness, and endurance. Just by looking at him, you could believe Brock had the power to build a house with his bare hands. That physical foundation led him into amateur wrestling, where he quickly made a name for himself. Lesnar captured multiple national championships, proving he was one of the brightest talents in collegiate wrestling. His success opened the door to WWE, where he skyrocketed to fame and was soon hailed as the next big thing. But Brock Lesnar has never been content to stay in one lane. At the peak of his WWE career, he made the bold move of pursuing the NFL, joining the Minnesota Vikings despite limited professional football experience. While he didn't find lasting success there, the attempt itself highlighted his relentless desire to test boundaries. Soon after, Lesnar transitioned to UFC, where he shocked the world by becoming the heavyweight champion in a remarkably short time, solidifying his reputation as a once-in-a-lifetime athlete. His journey didn't stop there. Lesnar also competed in New Japan Pro Wrestling, capturing international titles before returning to WWE, where he re-established himself as one of the greatest superstars of all time. From a farm boy to a construction worker, to a global phenomenon, Brock Lesnar stands as living proof that strength, discipline, and an unyielding will to push past limits can elevate a person to the top of multiple worlds. 8. Sheamus. Before becoming the Celtic warrior, feared for his devastating brogue kick, Sheamus walked a very down-to-earth yet surprising path. Few would have guessed that the towering powerhouse with fiery red hair actually started his career in a field seemingly unrelated to wrestling, working as an IT technician. Picture Sheamus, tall, broad-shouldered, with a thick red beard, sitting behind a computer, typing away, or answering a customer with the classic IT phrase, "Have you tried turning it off and on again, fella?" The thought alone is enough to make anyone laugh. With the look of a warrior ready for battle, the idea that Sheamus once saved the day by fixing computers feels almost unreal. But his life wasn't confined to keyboards and cables. Leaving behind the tech world, Sheamus became a nightclub bodyguard in Dublin, Ireland. The club often hosted major celebrities, including none other than Bono, the legendary frontman of U2. If inside a WWE ring Sheamus defended his pride and position with brute force, at the nightclub his job was to guard something entirely different: Bono's pint of Guinness. Just imagine Sheamus dressed in a black suit, sunglasses on, earpiece tucked in, standing watch over a table to make sure no one dared touch Bono's beer. It's both cool and unbelievable, yet it was a real part of his life before wrestling entered the picture. Those unique experiences taught him composure, sharp awareness, and an iron discipline. And when he finally chose to step into the ring, Sheamus carried all of that with him, shaping the image of the fearless Celtic warrior who backs down from no one. From an IT technician to a nightclub bouncer, Sheamus ultimately wrote his own story in WWE. A true warrior, feared and respected, who carved out a lasting legacy in the world's most brutal stage. 9. Becky Lynch. Before the world knew Becky Lynch as one of WWE's brightest stars, she went through several jobs that seemed to have nothing to do with wrestling. One of her first roles was as a flight attendant for Aer Lingus, the same airline where her mother had worked. For 4 years, Becky was responsible for caring for passengers, ensuring flight safety, and handling unexpected situations in the air. Just picture Becky Lynch in a crisp uniform, confidently walking down the aisle of a plane and announcing, "In case of emergency, please follow the instructions." That image alone would capture anyone's attention. And it's amusing to imagine that if a passenger refused to follow the rules, Becky might just slam them to the floor right then and there. Her journey didn't stop with aviation. Becky also explored the arts, performing as a stage actress from 2011 to 2012. Acting fueled her passion for storytelling and helped her sharpen her ability to express emotions and embody characters. Skills that later became invaluable when she created the magnetic persona of The Man in WWE. Imagine Becky stepping into a Shakespeare play, turning the famous line into, "To be the man or not to be the man, that is the question." Beyond that, Becky also worked as a bartender in an Irish pub, a job that required speed, adaptability, and the ability to handle all kinds of customers. She even tried her hand as a pizza chef, a modest profession, but one that taught her patience and attention to detail. These experiences, though seemingly small, all played a part in shaping Becky Lynch into a strong, versatile, and determined individual. From flight attendant to stage actress, from bar staff to pizza maker, each role added to the foundation that prepared her for WWE, where she ultimately proved herself as Big Time Bex, as The Man, admired by millions of fans around the world. 10. Roman Reigns. Today, fans know Roman Reigns as the Tribal Chief, the dominant force of WWE whose presence, confidence, and power command respect. But before becoming one of the company's greatest stars, Roman, born Joe Anoa'i I, walked a very different path, one filled with challenges yet equally admirable. After graduating from Georgia Tech with an impressive college football career, Roman pursued his NFL dream. He briefly joined the Minnesota Vikings and later the Jacksonville Jaguars, but those opportunities closed quickly as he struggled to secure a long-term spot in the league's grueling environment. It was a crushing setback, yet Joe refused to give up. Determined to keep his athletic career alive, he went north to Canada and signed with the Edmonton Eskimos in the CFL. Though he played only 1 season, that period instilled in him mental toughness and discipline, qualities that would later serve as the foundation for his WWE success. When he hung up his cleats, he didn't immediately dive into wrestling. Instead, Roman took on an unexpected job, assembling office furniture for his sister's company. Just imagine, the man who would one day sit at the head of the WWE table once spent his days putting desks together and tightening screws. The image is both amusing and humbling, showing his willingness to work hard no matter the circumstance. His turning point came when Roman, alongside his cousins the Usos, signed with Florida Championship Wrestling, FCW, the developmental system that would evolve into NXT. In those early days, he was far from the spotlight, but he patiently honed his style, sharpened his skills, and gradually proved his worth. A decade later, the same man who once faced rejection in the NFL and built office furniture for a living rose to become the undisputed Tribal Chief, ruling WWE in a way few could ever challenge. His journey stands as proof that failure is not the end, but rather the stepping stone toward the birth of a legend. 11. Lana. Before the name Lana became tied to WWE, her journey took her through many fascinating turns in the world of entertainment. Born in Florida but raised in Latvia, she grew up surrounded by a unique blend of Eastern and Western cultures, an influence that later shaped her distinctive persona. With a passion for performing arts from an early age, Lana pursued her dream professionally by enrolling at Florida State University, where she received formal training in dance and theater. As a young adult, Lana quickly made her mark as a professional dancer, collaborating with global music stars such as Pink, Usher, Neo, and Carrie Hilson. Performing on massive stages before thousands of fans gave her confidence, stage presence, and a bold performance style that would later define her. But dance was only the beginning. Lana also ventured into modeling and acting, appearing in commercials, music videos, and television shows. Notably, she made appearances on the reality series The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and even landed a role in the hit musical film Pitch Perfect 2. These experiences built a strong foundation, establishing Lana as a versatile performer long before her WWE debut. In 2013, WWE officially signed her. Interestingly, she didn't start as a wrestler but as the manager and spokesperson for Rusev. Portraying the persona of a cold, commanding Russian figure, Lana quickly made a lasting impression. Her distinctive voice, confident aura, and captivating style turned her into one of the standout female characters of that era, playing a pivotal role in Rusev's rise. Within just a few years, Lana decided to step inside the ring as a competitor. Though she never captured major championships, her perseverance and effort proved her genuine love for wrestling. To fans, Lana remains memorable as a charismatic personality who embodied beauty, style, and performance, showing that an artistic journey can lead to places one might never expect. 12. The Great Khali. When people think of the Great Khali, they often picture his towering frame, slow but overpowering movements, and an in-ring presence that felt impossible to ignore. Yet few know that before becoming an international star, Dalip Singh Rana, Khali's real name, once wore a police uniform, serving in the Punjab State Police in India. With his extraordinary height and massive build, Khali stood out even among law enforcement. At the time, he worked as a patrol officer, carrying the responsibility of maintaining order and protecting the community. His sheer size alone was enough to deter troublemakers without the need for much force. People often joked that if Khali had used his famous headlock during his police days, handcuffs would have been unnecessary. No one would dare resist. His years in the force instilled in him strict discipline, patience, and a deep sense of duty. Still, Khali longed for something greater, and soon he turned toward professional wrestling, a stage where his physical stature could become his ultimate advantage. From his early training sessions at the gym, he realized he had the potential to achieve far more than life as a police officer. The journey from India to the international wrestling scene was far from easy, but through persistence and determination, Khali gradually made a name for himself. When he finally arrived in WWE, he instantly created shockwaves. With his mythic presence, towering, powerful, and unlike anyone else, the Great Khali became a global sensation, particularly in his homeland. In India, millions of fans embraced him as a symbol of pride and national achievement. From a regular police officer to an international superstar, the Great Khali's story proves that where you start does not dictate where you can go. In the ring, he may have been unrefined at times, but his influence, journey, and cultural impact are undeniable. 13. Daniel Bryan. Today, Daniel Bryan is celebrated as one of the most resilient and beloved warriors in WWE history. But before he became the face behind the deafening chants of "Yes," he once worked a job that he probably wasn't too proud of, flipping burgers at a fast food restaurant. When he first reached working age in Washington State, Bryan, then just a skinny teenager with a passion for sports, needed a job to support himself. Thanks to a recommendation from his sister, Billy Sue, he landed a position at a local McDonald's. At the time, he never saw it as a long-term path, but it became a necessary stepping stone toward independence and the journey that lay ahead. In the beginning, Bryan was assigned the most basic tasks: wiping tables, mopping floors, taking out trash, and assisting customers when needed. The routine was repetitive and far from exciting, but he carried out every duty with focus and responsibility. Much like his approach in the ring years later, Bryan never gave half measures. His diligence quickly caught the attention of management, and it wasn't long before he was moved into the kitchen, a place that demanded speed, concentration, and teamwork. Inside the sweltering, fast-paced kitchen, Bryan showed both adaptability and discipline. He learned how to prepare meals efficiently, handle the rush of peak hours, and make sure every order met the standard. While it wasn't the career he dreamed of, that period instilled in him persistence, a growth mindset, and the ability to push through challenges, qualities that would later define his rise as one of WWE's biggest stars. Without those exhausting shifts at McDonald's, Bryan might never have developed the endurance and grit needed to thrive in the unforgiving world of professional wrestling. From a humble fast food worker, he transformed himself into a symbol of determination, proving that no matter where you start, unwavering dedication can turn you into a legend. 14. The Usos. Before the bright lights of WWE shined on them, Jimmy and Jey Uso lived a simple, and at times difficult life, despite being part of the legendary Anoa'i family, which had produced so many wrestling icons. Their father, Rikishi, was a well-known WWE star, but that didn't mean the brothers grew up in luxury. Instead, they and their family worked hard just to get by. After graduating high school, Jimmy and Jey didn't immediately step into the ring. They first took on labor-intensive jobs to make a living. From construction work to hauling loads, even assembling office furniture, the twins put in long hours. These tough experiences not only helped cover their expenses but also built the endurance and resilience that later became essential on their path to wrestling greatness. In an interview, Jimmy once candidly shared, "We worked from morning until night, carrying bricks, mixing cement, cleaning up, whatever would bring in money. During the day we labored hard, and at night we pushed ourselves in wrestling training. It wasn't easy at all." On top of that, both worked at gyms, balancing roles as staff assisting customers while also using every opportunity to train. Every bit of savings they scraped together went toward paying for wrestling classes. Even though they came from a prestigious family in the business, Jimmy and Jey received no special treatment. They knew that only talent and persistence could secure their place. In 2009, after years of dedication, the brothers officially signed with WWE. A year later, they made their debut, quickly impressing audiences with their fiery style, emotional intensity, and unshakable bond as twins. Over time, the Usos captured more than 8 tag team championships and eventually set the record as the longest reigning tag team champions, solidifying their place as one of the greatest duos in WWE history. From their early days as laborers struggling to earn a living to becoming iconic figures in tag team wrestling, the journey of Jimmy and Jey Uso is a powerful reminder of how hard work and unwavering belief can turn dreams into reality. 15. Alexa Bliss. Before becoming one of WWE's most prominent female superstars, Alexa Bliss endured a deeply challenging chapter in her life. As a teenager, she battled a severe eating disorder, an illness that could have ended her athletic dreams before they even began. It was a dark period, but instead of letting the struggle define her, Alexa chose to rise above it, turning hardship into the driving force that reshaped her future. With unwavering support from her parents, Alexa turned to the gym. What's remarkable is that she didn't just train to get healthier. She quickly revealed discipline, resilience, and exceptional talent. The dedication she poured into every exercise, every training session, showed that this was more than a temporary hobby. It was a life-changing turning point in her journey of self-recovery. In a short span of time, Alexa achieved something most only dream of. She became one of the youngest athletes to earn a professional bodybuilding card. Her determination also led her to compete at the prestigious Arnold Classic, an event organized by none other than Arnold Schwarzenegger himself. For a petite girl with modest stature, this wasn't just an impressive accomplishment. It was living proof of her unbreakable spirit and hunger for victory. Her success in bodybuilding forged a mindset of steel and instilled the confidence to take on any challenge. These qualities became the perfect foundation when she transitioned to WWE. At first, many doubted her due to her small frame. But Alexa shattered every doubt, proving size means nothing when you carry the heart of a champion. Inside the ring, she showcased sharp instincts, clever strategies, and a captivating presence that could rival anyone on the roster. From a young woman struggling against an eating disorder to a celebrated WWE star, Alexa Bliss is the ultimate example of how sheer willpower can rewrite destiny. Every time she steps into the ring, fans don't just see a wrestler. They witness the embodiment of determination, perseverance, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. And those were the fascinating jobs WWE Superstars held before reaching fame. If you found this video engaging, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of the exciting content from Wrestling Sphere.